Hi, I'm Tom Loucks, Communications Director for the City of Marshfield, and thank you for joining me on my show Spotlight. And today my guests are from United Way. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Well, we have the Director, Ashley, sitting right over here to my right, and we have Katie, which is a board chair for the United Way, and we're going to get to know you a little bit better as well.
Perfect.
All right. Well, let's talk about the backpacks. We ended up with that in our last show last month, and I'm kind of curious how it went.
Yeah, it went very well. So we actually just finally finished it up yesterday in the surrounding communities of Grant and Greenwood and Loyal. And altogether, we gave away just about 600 backpacks to our area students. So that would include those districts and then also Marshfield, Auburndale, Spencer, Stratford, and Pittsville. So I just wanted to take a moment to really thank everybody who either gave of their time or donated supplies towards that backpack and school supply drive. It was a wonderful event yet again this year.
Alrighty, well thank you for hosting that, managing that, and getting that taken care of. Definitely a need in our community, and schools starting Marshfield Columbus next week, and the public schools the week after, so right around the corner. That means campaign kickoff is happening soon too, or it already has. I'm not sure, so that's why you're here, and you're going to answer when does the campaign kick off, and then we'll kind of go down the list.
Yeah, so the campaign kind of unofficially kicks off after the Labor Day holiday. That is the time that we actually get together all of our volunteers and our agencies, and then this year our board as the drive chair, just to kind of get to know one another, get all their supplies, and then we'll be off and running.
All right, and how long does it last usually?
So it typically wraps up towards the end of the year. Businesses do their campaign work or their workplace campaign as time allows within their companies based on their schedule. So it usually starts right around the beginning of September and then is really wrapped up by that December 31st date.
Alrighty. Well, Katie, you're on board with the board. On board with the board.
Sure.
And you guys are doing something different. Your chair, is that right? Tell me a little bit about how that's going to happen. And first, you're more than welcome to introduce a little bit about yourself and then go into that piece.
Perfect. Yeah. So as you said, I'm on the board of the directors for Marshfield Area United Way. I've been on the board. This is my second year, going into my second year. So super excited to be on board. And with the transition this year, with Ashley moving into our executive director, we just thought as a board it would be really fantastic to be the drive chairs, to just as a unified group be part of Ashley's first campaign that she spearheads as the executive director. I mean, she's been involved in numerous campaigns, but really just kind of leading the campaign. And so for us as the board, it just felt really right to say that we as a group were excited to have Ashley as our executive director and to be working with her on her first campaign and just really showing that united front as a board and being involved from that aspect. So that was exciting, and that's kind of how we decided as a board what our drive chair would look like this year, which is a little bit different than it has been in past years.
Okay, well, we'll skip around a little bit. When you're mentioning drive chair, I guess I want to know a little bit of what that means from either of you. I'm not sure, maybe our viewers aren't sure of what that entails. It's maybe not has to do with the workplace campaign, maybe it's different. I don't know.
Yeah, I think in general, the drive chair's responsibility is to lead the community through the campaign. So that involves just educating themselves more with the work that we are doing in the community, and then being that voice for the community in supporting United Way.
Okay, so a lot of support. You have a staff of yourself and two others.
That's correct.
But you have also volunteers, is that correct? Do volunteers help provide this help in your campaign as well?
Yeah, volunteers are a tremendous role. So if you think about the 50+ businesses in our community that are running workplace campaigns, there's volunteers in each one of those businesses that are helping execute that campaign every year. So that's something, those are additional duties that they're adding on to their everyday job. So we are so grateful for everything that they do for us.
Okay, so workplace is what you're saying, where the volunteers are from the actual workplace to help spearhead their own campaign to help give back to the United Way? It could be anything that they do, from a brat fry internally, is that right, to fun activities.
That's right. So there's always different levels, I feel, of engagement within the businesses, and that's due to maybe either a timeline or the size of the business. So sometimes it's handing out pledge forms, sometimes it's doing all that, and then coordinating workplace meetings to learn more about United Way. Doing things like you're talking about, those special events, so whether it's coordinating a Jeans Day or having that brat fry. I know the city in the past has done like a pulled pork lunch for us, and so a lot of times people do like to have fun with it, so it's great to see that.
If a business or a new business wants to do this, do they just contact you guys?
Yeah,
And
that
then-
would be great. Just reach out to us at our office.
Okay. And you have all the necessary tools to provide that, like a kit, I would think, some kind, and donation forms. Is that correct?
Yes, so we do have what we'd like to call a little campaign toolkit. It is available also on our website, so if it's something that someone would like to explore before even reaching out to us, definitely can visit our website and find out more about what does all entails doing a workplace campaign.
Okay. Since we're on the topic of campaign, what is that? Is that your main drive? Is that what United Way does to get a lot of their funds to help agencies?
Right, so this is we do the campaign the same time every year. It is our major fundraising time to support all those community programs in the next upcoming year.
Okay, so very important time of the year. It's usually in the fall, is that right? for
That's
you guys?
correct, yes. That doesn't mean that things don't happen throughout the year. So, for instance, sometimes retail industries, the fall is also their extremely busy time of year, and so they find it more advantageous to work with their employees on a United Way campaign maybe during the summer months. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but for the majority, yes, this does take place during the fall.
All right. Can anyone donate online at this point?
Yes, so there on our homepage there is a donate button right there, and they can do a secure donation right from our website. I think it also takes Apple Pay as well.
Oh,
So.
all right. Well, Katie, you said you were on the board for, this is your second year, is that correct?
Yep, absolutely.
And have you been doing a lot of stuff with United Way in the past that led you to wanting to be on the board?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been, I'm in human resources. So when it comes to the drive and the campaign fundraising, our team does all of the pledge processing and donations and that. So we've been involved from the employer standpoint, or I've been involved from the employer standpoint for quite a few years. So our campaign at Simplicity is kind of a hybrid of everything. So we definitely have a good support of payroll deduct donors to United Way, but we also do a variety of special events. So we had a lip sync contest, which was super fun, to get even our executive management team up there and lip syncing and competing, to a bake sale, to a silent auction. So we do a variety of different activities during our United Way campaign at Simplicity, and then those donations go through the year. I also, through an annual event, not during campaign time, we've raised funds through that program and through that event for various different United Way programs. So United Way is something that I've been involved in before I was even on the board. So there's a lot of programs, and I just, being able to support the community and have our community be a better place and contributing has been important to me. So.
All right. Well, I would bet that a lot of people or businesses that have campaigns work through their HR department first.
Yeah.
So you're a really good resource to talk to about how you reach HR, because that's your job.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think there's different ways. I mean, even before I was at Simplicity, we had the opportunity to either do payroll deduct or do the traditional paper pledge forms where you can do a one-time donation. So there's a lot of opportunity out there to give, whether you had mentioned online, whether it's one-time gifts, mailing a check-in, or payroll deduct. And so I think, from my perspective, I'm excited to be on the campaign chair. There might be organizations that haven't ventured into to doing it as payroll deduct, and I would certainly, for us, it's really easy because then it's just kind of an automatic give, and we just we collect those pledge payments as on payroll deduct through our payroll system, and then we just send those funds up front to United Way when we're done, and we just collect it on our end to make things more simple for United Way too.
Right. Definitely. Well, if you're just joining me on my show, Spotlight, I'm Tom Loucks, Communications Director for the City of Marshfield, and my guests, United Way here in Marshfield. Thank you for joining me again.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Well, I have a few more questions, and one of the questions I have for you guys is, we all retire someday. And again, they're not working, and then the workplace campaign they used to donate to, but maybe someone wants to still donate that have left. Is there an option for them?
Definitely. So they can contact us to get on a mailing list. We do have a retiree mailing list that we send things out to every year. They can always also give by those other ways that we've mentioned directly from our website. Stop into our office. We're located right downtown Marshfield. So looking to get involved, just give us a call.
Definitely. And earlier we talked about volunteering, and I believe you also have a volunteer center there at the United Way that you're getting up and running as well, right?
That's correct.
So that's a good segue. That person that is there that is working towards that, I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. Cassie would help help people that want to do a campaign within the workplace started with that area. Again, your website is again?
It's Marshfield Area UnitedWay.org.
All right. Sounds good. Well, let's talk a little bit about what I've been seeing on Facebook called a pledge.
The I Pledge campaign?
I Pledge.
Yes.
It's looking like it's a good program. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, I think we kind of briefly mentioned it the last time we were here, but it's just something new that we're trying to attract small businesses and support the small local community businesses that are supporting us. So it has been taking off really well. We've had several realtors. We've had one of the small downtown boutiques now join, and so definitely gaining some traction there, and I think it's just a new creative way to help support one another in our community.
Awesome. Let's talk about United Way Worldwide and United Ways that are generally in a lot of communities like ours. Is there a difference? Can one of you guys enlighten me on how that works, and then our audience will, because that question comes up. We're going to be seeing football coming up, and usually you'll see a football player talk about United Way, but it's probably United Way Worldwide.
Right. Okay. Yes. So unfortunately, we don't work directly with the NFL, so that is worldwide. Our local United Way service area kind of encompasses the direct area around the city of Marshfield. We do go a little bit into Marathon County, we do go a little bit into Clark County, just serving those communities within like a 20-mile radius of the city. So everything that we collect locally does stay local. We are a member of United Way Worldwide, and so with that we get the usage of their logo. We also get a lot of reimbursement credits for educational purposes, so conferences that we can learn more and just continue to grow. So there is definitely a difference, but it's an important concept to know that we are locally governed by local community members, and we also have local community members that help us with the grant dollars and how the needs in the community will be met. So.
All right. As a board member, Katie, and I'm not sure, do you decide, or does the board decide who the money that is raised now goes to, or is that an allocations department? Maybe someone can help me with that.
So it's an application process, so it's open to various different organizations in the community to apply for. So they can apply to be a partner program, and then as Ashley said, many of us on the board are also part of that allocations committee along with other individuals in the community. So allocations is not just solely comprised of the board, it is comprised of all of the community, of different community members. And then each allocations committee looks at those applications. There's an interview talk to those programs, and then then we make recommendations from an allocation standpoint on how we would like to allocate those dollars, and then it does go back to the board, and the board approves those recommendations. So it's, as Ashley said, it's all local, and it's an application process, and then there's specific areas in the community, housing's identified, homelessness, hunger. So there's specific areas that we look at as top needs in the community, and so those are also parts of those conversations.
Okay, so yeah, like health and that's determined, ranked, I would say, by the need and what your organization feels that's going to be best suit. Now, if I'm aware, hopefully I'm right, if someone wants to donate to a certain organization or agency, do they have that ability to choose that?
They do.
Okay.
That's correct. So that is a line item on the pledge form. So if someone's passionate about a certain cause or area of our work, they can definitely designate to that. So.
We've all seen goals and thermometers in other towns. Everyone does it a little bit differently. How do you reach out to the community to tell you maybe where you're at in the campaign, or what's your plan for that, and how does that work?
So one more thing worth mentioning about the campaign, especially since Katie's sitting beside me, we do have a give and win sweepstakes. So companies such as Simplicity, Credit Union, River Edge, we have one anonymous donor, and then Nasonville Dairy have generously given 4 $1,000 cash prizes to be used for the sweepstakes. So any gift of $52 or more to the annual campaign is automatically entered into that sweepstakes to win one of those 4 $1,000 cash prizes.
Oh, that'd be a nice bonus come Christmas time, right?
Yep. So there is a deadline involved with that.
Oh, there
so
is.
yes. So gifts that are received prior to December 13th.
Okay. So $52.
So a dollar a
total.
week, right?
And so it could be $1 a week.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. And if you made a gift of that of at least that amount last year, and you increase by just as little as $1, then you double your chances, and we put in those 100 chances to win instead of the 50. So.
Wow. And when does the drawing take place? Is that later on, or a board gets to choose?
They do a really embarrassing sabotage. I only know because prior to being on the board, I actually was one of the sweepstakes winners.
Nice.
So that was really awesome. But
Yeah.
I got called into my CEO's office to discuss our next year's campaign, and turned around and walked out, and there was this large check and a big to-do. But it was really awesome, and so it's kind of a fun thing to do from a United Way perspective, to be able to go and surprise those campaign winners. And
yeah, so we do coordinate trying to surprise our winners. That usually happens in the month of January.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be neat. I had one more question I was going to ask you, but it slipped my mind in a minute. But so if it comes back to me, let's talk about Make a Difference Day. I think that's really important. The elderly need help too, because they can't get out and rake their yards if they currently own a home. What is that? What it's about?
Yes, so Make a Difference Day for us traditionally in the past has been a leaf raking event for elderly and disabled in our community. We spend a Saturday morning helping rake those leaves and just getting them to the curb in those brown paper bags, and then just getting them ready for the city to pick up on their regular scheduled day. So the seniors it's I think maybe one of their favorite days of the year. They just love seeing all the activity. The Girl Scouts are a huge volunteer group of ours, and so it's a lot of children. They usually bring out like hot chocolate or cookies or something like that. It just means so much to them, and so we're always looking for volunteers to help us.
Okay.
It's not a lot of time, just a little bit of muscle and a lot of heart, and you can really make a difference in somebody's life. So.
All right, they just need to call the office and get registered up. Probably any time you could take names.
Sure. Yeah.
But the kickoff, what day? Not sure when that is. Make a Difference Day date is, but it's coming up in October, I believe.
So yes, in the past it's always been the fourth Saturday of the month. We are looking at possibly changing it to kind of more align with the company's refuse pickup schedule. So I know it's always concerning when the leaves are there and then they don't get picked up, and the garbage has come, and so then the homeowners are calling and they're like, no, my leaves are still here. So we're trying to maybe
Yeah.
coordinate that a little bit better, but we're working with our volunteer groups
Okay.
to see if that would work with their
That or
schedule. so.
weather, right? We don't know if those leaves will fall. I don't want them to fall. I'd rather be in November myself, but
Yeah,
that'll
I mean,
mess you up.
the weather is something that we'll never be able to control. We have done it in the rain. We've also had people call in who have asked to have help, and then they said, the wind blew all of my leaves away, and so they didn't need any help. So weather is something we'll never be able to control, but we'll always still do our best to
Do your
help
best.
everyone. So.
All right. One thing I did remember, and I came to my mind, and
Yeah.
we could wrap up with that. You guys have a banquet later on to recognize people that give. Is that correct? And how that works? Do you do something like giving plaques, share anything for the people that do
Yeah,
that?
so we don't do a specific event.
Okay.
What we actually like to do is go into those businesses and try to go in during a meeting or a time that they have their employees gathered. They are the ones that have been generous in giving to us, and so it's a great way to try to personally thank them. So we actually like to try to present any campaign awards directly at those businesses. So
I like that idea.
Yeah.
That really, then everybody can see.
right.
Really, the entire.
It's not just one person that
know,
is making
right.
it happen, and
It's
so
a good idea.
Yep.
Wonderful. Well, and then others get to see new people that may have been hired get to see what maybe can be done the following years. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, that's great. Anything else, Katie, that you wanted to mention while you came by, or Ashley, before we leave off for our next show that we do next month with you about, I believe we'll talk a little bit about Make a Difference Day and other things, but because that'll be October.
it will still be campaign time
September.
too.
Yeah.
So we'll probably still be talking
Oh, yeah.
about that, but
Yeah.
that's just fine.
Actually, I'm a month ahead. I said October. It'll actually be September. I'm pushing it
Yeah,
too far
be
ahead.
right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so I think just from the campaign perspective, you know, it's an awesome opportunity. You know, when it comes to charitable giving, to me, a priority is always that it stays local and that it impacts the people in our community. And so I think that this is just a great opportunity. Like you said, you can designate funds if something personally speaks to you. Otherwise, you know, it goes to all the programs within our community. And really, when you have the opportunity to help do something for the most vulnerable individuals in our community, you know, to me it's an obligation, in my opinion, that you know, I'm fortunate to be able to be where I am, and you know, it's when it's especially around children. I have 2 boys. I can't imagine the stress of not being able to purchase a backpack, but to have a new backpack, or to be able to get food on the weekend and not worry about where to get you know, lunch for my kids on the weekend. There's just so many amazing programs that United Way supports that will speak to everybody. So it's just it's a great opportunity. It's a great way to support those programs, and so I would encourage you to really give and support our community. So.
All right.
I'd just like to add that it's always an open invitation to our office if you'd like to learn more about the work that we are doing in our community. And I also would like to say that United Way works because everybody gives a little. It's not, if it's $5, if it's $50, if it's $500, when we put it all together, that's when it does its most good in our community. So there is really no gift too small. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, and we will leave our audience with that.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
I want to thank you guys for watching us on Marshfield Media Access Channel 989, as well as our Facebook page. And soon we'll have our own website as well. That's our plan, so these will be here. We're currently running off our city website for a page, but we see the need to have these programs and an easier place to find. So maybe you guys be able to see that next month. That's our plan here. Again, thanks for watching me. I'm Tom Loucks, Communications Director for the city, and we'll see you next month on Spotlight with United Way.